All right, let's talk about a hidden force that is secretly making or breaking brands in Dhaka, one of the most exciting digital markets on the planet. We're going to pull back the curtain on the invisible conversations, the recommendations you can't track, and this massive data blind spot called dark social. So let's kick things off with a little mystery, a story that I'm sure every marketer out there has felt, even if you couldn't quite put a name to it. It all starts where your analytics dashboard ends, in a private chat. So picture this, a hilarious meme just landed in your family WhatsApp group. It's this super clever parody of a new TV ad, and you can already see that little tag forwarded many times. It is spreading like an absolute wildfire through DMs and group chats all over the city. The brand is killing it, right? Well, this is where it gets weird. You pop over to the brand's official page and you're expecting to see a party. Thousands of comments, shares, the marketing team taking a well-deserved victory lap. But what do you actually find? Yeah, nothing. Absolute silence. Maybe a few hundred likes, a couple of generic nice comments. There is absolutely zero public evidence of the firestorm of conversation that is happening in private. And this huge disconnect, that's our first clue. What you just witnessed is something called dark social. It's all the sharing that happens off the public grid. In Messenger, WhatsApp, email. It's that simple copy and paste of a link to a friend. And listen, this isn't just some tiny little gap in your data. It's the huge hidden majority of how information actually moves, especially in a place like Dhaka. So, just how big is this blind spot we're talking about? Well, because of the unique culture in Bangladesh, dark social isn't just a factor. It is the dominant force. Let's dig into why that is. The psychology here is just fascinating. Bangladeshi culture is really built on this idea of ada, these really tight-knit social circles. People are just naturally more private, more skeptical of big public statements. So a public comment on a brand's page, that's kind of like a performance. But a direct message to a friend, that's a real conversation. That's a genuine recommendation, and it carries like 10 times the weight of any sponsored post you could ever run. And here it is. Here is the number that should make every single marketer just pause. Global data suggests that up to 84%, let that sink in, 84% of all sharing from consumers now happens in these invisible dark social channels. And in a copy-paste culture like Dhaka's, you can bet that number is probably even higher. And just look at where these conversations are happening. It's not even a contest. A staggering 92% of internet users in Bangladesh use Messenger as their main way to communicate online. Your audience isn't hanging out on your public feed. They're in their DMs. So, this all leads to a really crucial point. When you're looking at your Google Analytics and you see this big spike in direct traffic, it's probably not someone who carefully typed your website URL into their browser. No way. It's way more likely a friend, a cousin, a colleague pasting a link directly into a private chat. That direct visit is actually a dark social referral in disguise. And if you ignore this, well, you're basically making huge strategic decisions with data that's fundamentally broken. It's like you're trying to fly a multi-million-dollar airplane, but half of your instruments are completely blacked out. You can see you're moving, but you have no clue what's actually causing it. So, how do we turn the lights back on? Okay, this brings us to the solution. There is a way to start mapping this invisible world. It's a 5-step process called the VALID framework, and it's designed to give you the instruments you need to actually see what's going on in the world of dark social. Let's walk through this. First up, V is for verify flow. This just means using specific tracking codes or UTMs on all of your share buttons. Super simple, but it lets you see where traffic is really from instead of just lumping it into direct. Next, A is for audit humanly. You have to talk to people, run a focus group, and just ask them, hey, where did you actually hear about us? That human answer is worth its weight in gold. L is for listen closer. Now this one's a game changer. You can actually track when someone hits copy to clipboard on your site. In this world, a copy is the new share. It's step 1 of a private message. Then we have I for incentivize DMs. Create deals that are exclusive to private channels, like a WhatsApp-only discount. This rewards the exact behavior you want to encourage. And finally, D is for decouple KPIs. You have got to stop trying to connect public likes to actual sales. They're just different things measuring totally different behaviors. Now, I know this all sounds good on paper, but does it really work? Let's look at 2 incredible examples of brands that just got this. And they won big by embracing the power of the private chat.
So on the global stage, you've got Adidas. They figured out that young soccer players weren't hanging out on public brand pages. So what did they do? They created these exclusive private tango squads on messaging apps and gave them content first. The result? A 20% higher conversion rate than their massive public campaigns. And then let's bring it home with a local hero, Pathao. They absolutely mastered the private share with their referral code system. They designed it specifically to be easy to copy and paste right into a messenger group. They didn't care about the Facebook like, they cared about the private share.
And here's the proof. Pathao drove a mind-blowing 45% of its new user growth through these private referral loops. The same loops that your standard analytics would have just shrugged and called direct traffic. That's the power we're talking about. Okay, so you're convinced. You see the massive blind spot and you want to fix it. So, what do you actually do on Monday morning? Here is a concrete 3-step action plan to get you started. Here are 3 things you can do right now. First, in month 1, do a technical audit. Get that copy event tracking set up and put proper tracking on your WhatsApp share buttons. Second, month 2, redesign your content. Stop making square videos for Instagram feeds and start making vertical, forward-friendly clips that are perfect for WhatsApp. And third, and this is a big one, this is ongoing, dedicate about 10% of your research budget to the human layer. Start asking people who sent them the link, not just what they ended up buying. But as we get better at seeing into these private spaces, there is a huge critical warning here. Your goal isn't to be in the conversation, it's to be the topic of it. You have to create something so good, so funny, so valuable that people choose to talk about you in their private chats. You have to respect these spaces. Seriously, there is nothing that will destroy your brand's reputation faster than some corporate account spamming a family WhatsApp group. The power of dark social comes from its authenticity. You have to earn your place there. You can't force your way in.
So I'll leave you with this final thought to chew on. Take a really hard look at your analytics dashboards. They're great at showing you what happened. You got a traffic spike, you got a lift in sales, but can they really truly tell you why it happened? Because the real story, the real why, is probably hidden in the dark. Thanks for tuning in.